Hello everybody, welcome back to the broadcasts from Space Age XL, where we're going to try and build big and build early, and build big early is probably what I should have said. That would have made more sense anyway. Last time we got robots sorted out, so now we're going to utilise those robots to hopefully do a lot of big jobs, while we also do other things ourselves. Oh, you got the same, oh no, not quite the same one twice in a row. It's always funny when that happens. Anyway, if you want to do the old like, comment, subscribe for me, that would be great. And then we'll jump straight into it, shall we? Okay, this was the plan. This was the starter base that's just going to be a glorified mall, basically, for the robot frames, which are ticking over here quite nicely. And then we're just going to add the extra stuff that we need to get the robots to do all of the cool stuff. So that is logistics chests, storage chests, more specifically. Robots won't put anything down if they have to demolish anything unless you have storage chests. And then the roboports. And then we can start expanding by doing... I left space in between all of the builds specifically for things like this. This is obviously very haphazard, but it just needs to cover the starter base for now, so we'll just get that done. And then I have decided to talk like this. I have sequestered this space for the grid going forwards. And I've got a whole bunch of blueprints ready in the grid. So this is the grid. It's chunk aligned. Let's put it down somewhere sensible. We can maybe put it here. Seems like a good place to start. So then if we also put put some roboports down. That's a terrible place to put that. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Yeah, something like that. Can get a little highway going here, and then the robots should start building the grid. And then, as I say, the grid is chunk aligned. If we just turn on the chunk lines for just a moment here, you can see how that works. There we go. Alright, okay. Cool. Alright, sorry, maybe I should have done some vocal warm-ups before I started this recording this morning. It's clearly not going very well. Here's the error, so not enough storage space. So these robots needed to destroy some trees and some rocks to make space for these blueprints, but seeing as we don't have any logistics chests, they don't know where to put them down. So we'll do that, and we'll start expanding the grid, and we'll expand the roboport network down to this space as well. So this is the start of the grid. This is where it's going to live. At this point I haven't decided which way I'm going, whether I'm going right or going up, but we'll make a decision on that later. I've also put the bricks down, so I'm just storing all the bricks here. This will just keep the robots busy while we give them lots of jobs, basically. They'll just get it done. They'll just get it done. I regret not adding, or not taking away cliffs from Nowvis. So I have in fact added a mod to give me early cliff explosives. I should have turned cliffs off on Nowvis, because building very large very early without access to cliff explosives is a complete nightmare. I should have realised that I needed that, so rather than like doing anything silly, I've just added a mod to give me early cliff explosives, and then should be fine, right? Should be fine. Maybe that's cheating, I don't know. But cliffs without any way to get rid of them before going to space is just... it's just ooh. It's just ooh. He's our little Johnny friend. Alright, mate, how's it going? Whoa, okay, alright. Fair enough, fair enough. Red circuits is a bit of a problem, but then red circuits is always a bit of a problem. That's just the Factorio way. That's just the Factorio way. What else have we got in this book? We got solar panel one. We got one with normal, one that's just blank, which we'll use to just expand. One with bricks for aesthetics, one with bricks and lights for even more aesthetics, and then we've got solar with blank and a solar with bricks. So this solar one needs substations, which also needs to be in here, but that's very easily done with however substations are made. Yeah, copper, so we need to put copper in here, but that's fine. I did think about running the electronics, the advanced circuits downwards as well, so like putting another splitter here and running this downwards to this mall, but I decided I couldn't be bothered. Didn't really achieve much. It didn't really achieve much. The only things that you really need advanced circuits for mall-wise are the substations, the chests, and the roboports. Up until, you know, once you start needing beacons and bulk inserters maybe, but then bulk inserters you can do quite easily in this mall as well. So it's just a two-tiered mall really. It's just a pre-red circuits mall and a post-red circuits mall. Sorry, this purple tree really freaked me out. I couldn't quite tell what it was, what was going on. Okay, cool, cool. Expansion is happening. Alright, let's go, let's go. So robots are quite power hungry, as you may know. If we look at the last, we've had roboports for about an hour and a half in this playthrough, but if you look at power consumption over the entire course of the game, we're 7 hours through, which I think is pretty good progress. You can see that roboports really are quite a lot of that, and then assembly machines. So we've been stockpiling accumulators and solar panels for a little while now. 500 of each will build you just about 2 blocks of this. This isn't 100% at ratio. It's what, 21 solar panels for 24 accumulators, but the ratio, I've never really understood the fascination with the ratio, right? The ratio is good. Definitely one way, it's fine, because there's no point in having more accumulators than you can actually store, you can actually fill with solar panels. But equally there is, because you're not going to be running at 100% capacity all the time. So I'm not too concerned about the ratio. I'm more concerned about making sure that I can get as many into a grid as I can. So, you know, so there's a little bit of dead space here, but that's just because the solar panels are 3x3, the roboports are 4x4, the accumulators are 2x2. So, you know, as long as it's aesthetically fine. Oh god, it's not aesthetically fine. Oh no, that's a disaster. Are you telling me that's what that looks like in here as well? Do I need to update the blueprint just because this isn't... Oh, that's really irritating. Oh well. It's fine, nobody will notice. Everybody will notice. Red belts. I don't want to start the new grid on yellow belts. Yellow belts are not very good anymore. So I have plugged in this red belt module thing from the original broadcast series. It's very simple. It just makes red belts. But this needs a lot of iron. So the end of the iron bus here, and I've upgraded the line of iron supply to red belts. And then, of course, steel furnaces are twice as fast, so as long as your original furnace stack was at ratio, 48, sorry, for one yellow belt of copper or iron, you can just do a solid upgrade, just upgrade the belts to red and upgrade the furnaces to steel furnaces, and it's exactly the same. Obviously these numbers don't quite match yet because not all of the furnaces have been changed. Or they're not all working because not all the belts have upgraded and not all the iron's coming through. But I'm going to plug this nice big 40 million iron ore patch in down here, and I'm going to run some iron ore and let it join with this, and then that should give us... I mean, we've already got almost enough iron, but we do want it to keep up, and we do want to eventually start researching again as well. Research is off at the moment just while this job gets done. Because... I mean, it's not... Circuits really is your main bottleneck with having all of the with having blue researches being done. So like red, green, and blue science. You're mostly just using circuits, which is mostly copper now in this phase. But we do want to turn the science on eventually. Obviously, we want everything researched all the way up until purple, yellow, and space science before we move on. So we need a plan for further expansion. Obviously, the base is going to be in these sections here. I have some already designed blocks here, so a smelting one. I was in 2 mines. I said in a previous episode I wasn't sure if I was... Well, I said in a previous episode I was definitely going to leave this here. But now I'm not so sure I will. Because I've got this smelting stack here, which fits very nicely in the grid section. This will give you 4 belts of whatever you plug in. And I did do this thinking that the bus would go pen, thank you. Thinking that the bus would go this way. But I don't actually think I like that idea, but it's I already do this bit before I make that decision. And because I needed to put the solar panels down, I put the solar panels here, and then I regret that as well. But with robots, it's not really a problem. It's not like the items are going to waste. The only thing we're really wasting is the electricity. And because we're running on solar, it's not a huge issue. Yeah, we've probably burnt more coal than we needed to, probably created more pollution than we needed to, but pollution is still totally fine. Okay. Trains. I think we need to talk about trains next. Okay, so the iron supply is in. This will give me 4 belts of iron ore in, which I won't really need all 4 belts. So we'll just plug that in. It's a bit of a spaghetti mess, but it's always going to be a spaghetti mess. So that's giving us a very, very healthy amount of red belts. In fact, this is full, and I want this at 4,000, not 2,000. It's important to take out the yellow belt production from the starter mall, because you want the yellow belts that you replace to come here. So this red belts contain yellow belts as an ingredient. So any yellow belt that you repurpose can be delivered back here and turned into a red belt, and then you can just make fresh ones when you need them. So this only outputs the yellow belts from the assembler when there are less than 2,000 in here. So when you do a big upgrade job, yeah, you're using a lot of red belts, but you're taking away, you know, 90 plus iron gear wheels of production from the system. So you're in fact only, I say only, you're only needing the 450 gear wheels, which is a lot of gear wheels, don't get me wrong, that is a lot of gear wheels, but it's half a red belt of iron plates just for gear wheels. So we'll let that tick over and do a nice little supply. Yeah, so trains. So we've got this. This is just, these two are just about close enough to use a belt, belts without being too upset about it. But you'll notice that we don't really have a decent stone patch. This one's okay, I guess. It's very awkward on the ocean, on the lake like that. We also haven't found any uranium yet, which maybe that's a problem, I don't know. So I want to get a train system in. Trains are very weird in Space Age because there's no quality wagons and things. Train throughput is not that great in comparison with stacked green belts. But that's okay. We'll just have a humongous stacked green belt network going around, I guess. Or also raw resources are, you know, like you don't really need as many in Space Age as you needed in Vanilla. So, but I do want a train system in place. This is rail world settings, slightly modified rail world settings. Enemy expansion is off, so we are gonna, you know, we do want to bring stuff like this into the main base via train. And yeah, this coal patch is a little bit too far away, so when this one starts not being enough, we'll bring this one in via train. So I wanted to do a rail system in this blueprint grid style as well, and we'll turn editor mode on here just so that I can put them down without just straight away. Let's find a bit of space, shall we? I haven't researched glyph explosives yet. There you go. So if you didn't know that, in editor mode, when you can hold shift to do start research and it just does it, just unlocks it for you. So while we're in editor mode we can just do that. Straight, piece, chunk aligned, left hand drive. I don't want to hear a word from you about left hand drive, okay? Like, I am British. I don't really consider that a core part of my identity. It's just the thing that is just printed on my passport. But left-hand drive just makes more sense to me. I don't know why. It just does make more sense to me. So there's a set of signals here in the middle which will break up the straights. 1-4 trains. I always go 1-4 trains. I'm not entirely sure why. A crossing with the elevated rails, we'll need to. That's why I just finished researching production science, because we'll need elevated rails, and it's best to have elevated rails before we go into space anyway. So I will do that, just in case we need a crossing. I'm not going to use 4-way intersections, but there are cases where I may need to use a crossing, just because a crossing might be better than a T-junction. In some cases, a T-junction with the elevated rails, this T-junction versus... So if you don't have this and you just have this, then a train that comes this way and wants to go this way would force this train to wait until this block is cleared. Obviously, because this becomes a bit of a bottleneck here, this section of signals. There's not really a good way to separate this out. This bit in the middle will always just be a block with the best will in the world. So any train that goes over this is going to cause any other train at the junction to stop moving completely. Whereas if you have this, then a train going this way and over the intersection does not preclude this train from making this turn at the same time. It's very, very minor optimization, but it's the kind of thing with elevated rails that we can do now. So we may as well. Elevated rails are not that expensive, are they? Refined concrete is not the worst. On Nalvis it's not quite so good as it is on Vulcanus. But anyway, a turn. The turn looks weird. Yes, the turn does look weird, you're right. But that is because the turn is designed to be easily upgradable into a T-junction. There are many such cases where you build a turn and then eventually you need to make that turn into a branch. So rather than just having to delete it and rebuild the T-junction, we'll just make it straight upgradable. So that's why this signal is here and this signal is here, so that this T-junction just literally goes straight on top, no questions asked. So that's nice. A U-turn, just need U-turns, and unloading. An unloading thing for what I eventually put here. And I'm going to... So the raw resources will just come into a big depot here. I did toy with the idea of having an unloading station in a grid section, but I just couldn't get it done. I just couldn't get it done in a way I was happy with. So I'm just going to do a chunk aligned sort of like depot thing, like this. And just have trains... Why is the radar not updating? Oh, it's because in editor mode time is like naturally paused, isn't it? So your radar will not update unless the game is flowing. No, that's not true. That's not true apparently. Why did these update and these didn't? Alright, I can't explain that. Alright, now it has. There's probably no radar coverage over here. Yeah. I don't know who you are, Jaden Stasuski, but I hope you're well. I think it was like Patreon backers or something, Kickstarter backers or something got their names as in the default list of train stations, and also Science Labs have names as well. If you didn't notice that, Philip Scheiss. Sorry, Philip Scheiss. Sorry, really distracted reading the names. So rather than having a modular unloading thing, I'm just going to have a big depot here and a waiting station probably, and you know, you only really need to deliver what? Iron, maybe 2 iron, 2 coal, 2 copper, a coal, a stone. So it's fine. So that's the train system I'm going to use. But I'm not going to worry too much about it right now, because as I say, these are close enough to just ship in via belts. And then I don't have to worry about how I fuel the trains or anything like that. But I do want to leave the space. I do want to leave the space. And be able to do this remotely as well. I don't want to have to come back to Nalvis to build trains. So I do want my train system to be done in the Roboport grid sections. So, and yes, so that is of course in the blueprint book, which I will make the effort to publish it now that we're officially using it. So I'll put the link in the description to my preferred Factorio Blueprints website, Factorio Codex, I believe it's called, and that will also have the original broadcasts from Space Age, which we're using to bootstrap basically the whole thing. Yeah. Well, we're up to about here, I think. Yeah. We haven't got rocket fuel. Yeah, we're up to here. So it's been good. It's been good. I've been really I was very happy with those blueprints. I was very glad that I made a blueprint book for Space Age builds. Saved me a lot of time and effort. Okay, moving on. Moving swiftly on. So it's around here where I realise, yeah, should have turned cliffs off, shouldn't I? Because now it doesn't matter which way I go. There's going to be cliffs in the way here, there's going to be cliffs in the way here. I should have turned cliffs off for Nalvis. So I installed a nice little mod called I would like cliff explosives on Nalvis, please. Keeps the recipe exactly the same, it just moves the research to back to Nalvis as it was in vanilla. Explosives, grenades, barrels, cliff explosives. There you go. So we can, in the deconstruction planner, I wish there was a tick box for trees and rocks only, cliffs, trees and rocks, and then cliffs. So you could do trees, rocks, and cliffs all at the same time. There's currently no way to do that. You have to go in here, do the cliffs as one deconstruction planner, and then also do the trees. And the reason I'm not doing the trees in advance is just because of how long it would take, and I guarantee you I'd be halfway through demolishing 20,000 trees and then realise, oh actually I'd rather my robots do something else. So like, yeah, I could clear all the trees from the grid. 15,000 trees, 2,000 rocks. Plus they are absorbing pollution for now, so they are doing something, they're not completely useless. Let's see the first cliffs get destroyed, shall we? It's quite satisfying the way the robots yeet the cliff explosives. Nice. It's also better to use robots for this task because the deconstruction planner over eggs the number of cliff explosives you will need. This says 10 cliffs, therefore 10 explosives. But if you just, like, destroy this cliff, it will kind of trim the edges for you automatically. So this says 10 cliff explosives, but if we put this down, this will probably be one robot. This will probably be two, so it'll probably only send 3 robots for this job. Is that you? It is? Wait. Why is it sending so many? Is there another job somewhere I've forgotten? Is it sending 5 for this? Well, I mean, that's still less than 10. So it does kind of prove my point. I just really didn't think it would... I thought this would be 1 cliff explosive, to be honest with you. Come on. Double speed. Quadruple speed. There we go, that's better. Five. It sent 5. Oh, this was just about 2. Okay, so yeah. It still kind of proves my point that it at least doubles it, but... Anyway, alright, so we also, unfortunately, need to do this. Let's not do it like that, let's do it a bit more sensibly. Let's do a deconstruction planner for solar panels, accumulators, substations, everything else can stay. Yeah, my bad. My bad. And then we'll build them here. So we will replace them. We'll just replace them here. There we go. And again, obviously I'm not actually using editor mode when I play the game. I'm just doing this to show you, you know, if people... Oh, flashing images warning, flashing images warning. Good lord, good god. Sorry, sorry. Alright, we'll do editor mode just to get that kick-started. People want to see this, right? This is what people want to see. This is what people come here for. They come here for this kind of thing. For 16, almost 1,700 robots doing a job like this. Oh yeah, this is what Factorio is all about, baby! And they're taking them to here, even though there are jobs over here, but this won't be you know, because we need the robot pods to go down before it's ready. And then that also means we don't need this or this. Yeah, let this be a lesson. Be 100% sure before you build, before you decide to do a big job. But equally, doesn't really matter. It's not like you're wasting anything. So this is the steel smelting one. It's mostly the same as the regular one, the regular smelting one, except we do the old half a belt and then split just the copper, just the coal. Oh my god, please! Just the coal off the belt, merge it with the. It's the same. It's exact. I don't know why I'm belaboring this. Everyone knows this. It's just this. It's just this. We might need 2 of these. We'll see. But we can go long ways. The long way. And the bus can go up like this. It'll be cool. It'll be interesting. It won't be a proper main bus. There's far too much space, but that's the point, right? XL. Let's go. XL. Alright, sweet. And then we just put the coal in, the copper in, and we've got a lot more space for routing the raw ingredients here into the furnace stacks. We need coal on the bus, we need coal to go into the furnace stacks, but it's fine as long as we route it through where the trains unload, where the trains are planned to unload later. It should just be a simple case of plugging the trains in as soon as this and this starts running low. I do want to eventually change all of these efficiency modules for quality modules and start separating out a supply of uncommon and legendary, uncommon and rarity raw ingredients, so that we can make a small amount of rare quality things that would be good, especially in our modular armor and on any spaceships we want to take with us. But a quality module requires... it doesn't actually take any more energy, but it will literally take more energy because we're going to be taking away 80% of the energy efficiency from these. So I think that might be a post-nuclear job. But there is a 21 millim uranium ore patch up here that we can use for that. Nuclear power is not too taxing, we just need to process some uranium. We've already got all the research for... oh no, we don't, that's not true. We need to research this and then start building heat exchangers, heat pipes and steam turbines, but they are not very expensive. They're time consuming, they're just not very expensive in terms of ingredients. This one is the worst one. So we still need to start making concrete, stockpiling concrete, but then we can get nuclear reactors doing. It'll be interesting to see if I can fit a nuclear reactor build into a grid section. I don't think I will be able to. It might be too wide. It might have to be too wide, but that's okay. That's okay. Where's my old one? Covarex. Nuclear processing. There we go. Ooh, it might be doable. It might be doable if I'm a bit more... if I'm a bit more... what's the word I want? A bit more... I use the space better. I'm a bit more harsh on... because I won't need the roboports, right? The roboports will automatically be... they will have roboport coverage, so I won't need to make sure I've got space to deliver and remove nuclear fuel cells. So this should be doable, actually, looking at it. Should be eminently possible. Alright, so that's the plan for next time then, at least. Hopefully. We're in that... we've made a lot of early progress, just for the record. This is at 10 hours and 30 minutes of progress. We are definitely past the point of blitzing through things now. Everything is we're going to slow down slightly as we start to make bigger builds and have to make more important decisions, and before we were just sort of slapping everything down and getting it done, whereas now we are yeah, now we're in the actual, we're in the nitty gritty of it now. But that's good, that's what we wanted. I know it's taken 3 episodes to get there, but I thought it was important to see the process. People like to see the process. People like to see how people start their games at Factorio, I feel like. Alright, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like or a comment. And if you want to see more Factorio, be sure to subscribe. Yeah, as I say, I'm trying to keep this in the half-an-hour region. A lot of waffling was happening on in the previous series. They were starting to push an hour just because I felt like I needed to talk about every individual little thing. There's lots that I have not spoken about at all in this one, I feel like. But of course, if you've got any questions, please let me know in the comments. I was going to say something else. I can't remember what it was now. Nope, it's gone. It's gone. Yeah, it's gone. Oh, we're landfilling this little lake. That wasn't it, but there we go. Okay, yeah, next time then we'll get the big bus going. We'll probably be able to move a lot of this stuff across. Purple Science has been researched, but we're not making any yet, but that's fine. And then yeah, we'll just expand north and outwards, and we'll have a really, really big grid. We'll have a really big, nice, lovely grid system to work with. Alright, take it easy. See you next time. Bye-bye.